You know, school teachers really need to stop this. I mean that. There's a white female school teacher who said to a black male student, "Take your cotton picking hands off my stuff." I got the video and the defense of the teacher. Here it is.
Take your hands off the thing.
Wait, what'd you say?
Hands over here.
Wait.
Over here.
Ms. Landis, what did you say?
Get your cotton picking hands off the thing. That kind of comment was a very common comment, and it's a very innocent comment. Tomas, can you stop interrupting me?
I got you.
So it's not meant to be offensive in any way. And you know what? In listening to what the grumbling and what you're saying to me, I can understand now why it might be. But it wasn't meant to hurt people's feelings.
Will you stop interrupting me while I'm explaining why what I said when I said it wasn't as racist as I thought it was when I said it? Okay, let me give some background to this. First of all, let me highlight, yes, cotton picking is a racist term. You can go to writingexplained.org. They give you insight to these things. The term cotton picker or cotton picking, however, is a 19th century racist term. Popularized, obviously, during that time. This school teacher should have been well aware of that. So students at Farmington High School left the building Thursday, February 10th, after a female substitute teacher used the phrase cotton picking to describe a black male student. According to district administration, the substitute was immediately removed from the building and will not work in the district again. Now let me pause on this point. I'm glad to hear this because their actions were swift. Their actions show that they are in support of the student body. The student body did protest. Black and white and brown all protested together. They stood in solidarity against this rhetoric from the teacher and her failed attempt at an explanation. According to district administration, the substitute was immediately removed from the building and will not work in the district again. Superintendent Chris Delgado said the student touched something on the substitute's desk and was then told to get his cotton picking hands off the desk. The student reported this to the building administrators, who then removed the substitute from the property. Okay, superintendent said, and I quote, "I really want to commend the student who was the victim of this. The student who was the victim of this. He and another student reported this to a trusted adult. The fact that the students knew a trusted adult and school official would handle this says a lot about the efforts to make relationships with kids." I cannot tell you how many times I've reported on incidents of racism inside of schools where the administration would not support the children, where teachers would not support the children. As a matter of fact, they would threaten to suspend the children. Nobody was even placed on leave if it came from an administrator or member of the teaching faculty. This school did it right. They did it right. They immediately advocated for the student. They immediately took action against the substitute teacher, and they immediately released a statement in support of the bravery of these students for coming forward to a trusted adult. But where does that come from? That comes from culture. I guarantee you this superintendent is a great leader. I guarantee you that principal is a great leader. I guarantee you they have a culture where there is trust between the adult authorities and the students present. According to the superintendent, the substitute had worked in the district before. He said it's difficult to screen someone's prejudices before they enter a job. We screen and we background check as much as possible, and we can fingerprint for criminal instances, Delgado said. What we can't do is screen what's in the hearts and minds of people. Let's just be clear. If anyone harbors those kind of racist sentiments, do not apply to Farmington Public Schools. That's what I'm talking about. Finally, a superintendent says it the way it should be said. Kyla, thoughts here?
First and foremost, I'm extremely proud of those young students and people who organized and advocated for themselves because they understand and are not accepting that type of behavior in their spaces. And I'm really glad that the superintendent in the school made swift action to hold that woman accountable and those actions accountable to show that this is not acceptable in our schools. And I just think that woman is completely pathetic. I really don't like the plea to ignorance that the lady was putting on. It is her responsibility as an educator, as a teacher, as a public servant to educate herself and come correct when you are quite literally teaching the next generation and the next minds who are leading this country. And so it's sad to see that we are still experiencing those things like that in this time. But I think it shouldn't be surprising that the school supported the students and made swift action. Those stories shouldn't be a surprise. Those should be the standard of how schools support and educate and help their students.
That's completely right. And I will say this because I know people will push back and say, Doc, her bias seems to be out of ignorance. Well, maybe, I don't know for sure, okay? I believe she's well aware that that can be a racialized term. But even in her explanation, her attitude was horrible to the students, even when she tried to explain it. But let's be very clear, implicit bias or hyper-aggressive bias, it has the same impact on children. She has to go. There are certain things you need to know by the time you reach that level in your professional career. And if you do not know them, you do not need to experiment on our children. Get the hell up out of here, okay? Superintendent had it right.